Morning, everybody. Day after Christmas. Got a couple small reviews coming your way, so hit like, hit subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. This will probably be the last firearm. It's not a gun review, but firearm related, just because since I started bringing back some gun reviews, Google cut my ad revenue in half. So even though my membership's going up, viewership's going up, my revenue has taken another nosedive because I had a couple gun reviews. So they didn't cite me for any policy violations, but every time I put gun content onto the channel, the algorithms, something happens. It's happened now 2 or 3 times. So there's definitely a correlation, and I did this specifically as a test. So this will be the last thing that I do, honestly. It's just not worth it. Some people get value out of it, but if YouTube stops pushing my videos and then nobody sees them, then it's like, well, what's the point of doing them? So anyway, what I got was, and it's from the same brand, I believe, is that whatchamacallit thing that I got, my red dot. Yeah, Votatu or something like that. And they're getting really good reviews. Their stuff seems to be well made. I mean, this is actually heavier than you think. So it's actually very dense, well made, really nice machined, nice anodizing, aluminum. And so this goes up on the front, and it is a simple Veridian laser dot. So really freaking bright. So in bright daylight, this should actually work. Certainly work at night. Goes on by simple, what was it, M-lock. It's already got the 2 mounts built in, although I think it did come with, if you wanted to, let's see, I guess we got a couple extra M-lock pieces in there. We've got the screws to install it. It's also got a magnetic USB charger. So just plug that into a USB port, and very simple. Activate it when it's on the front of the rifle. You just push that button underneath. So it seems to work pretty damn well. I mean, that's a bright freaking laser. Windage adjustments. Let's see if they're tactile, if they click, if it seems like the kind of thing that'll move under recoil. And then I'll go ahead real quick and just mount it up. Show you what it looks like mounted. So we got some extra screws. Got some extra things in there, and let's see, this will be elevation. Yeah, it's like a very stiff screw adjusting it, so that's good. It's not one of those real loose ones. I've had those before on a red dot, where then they seem to want to shift sometimes into recoil. Those actually take some pressure. So not much to do here. You don't have to change the battery. What is nice is that it is rechargeable. And so from that perspective, you just every once in a while throw it on. Now, I don't know if it has any kind of shake awake thing, and that's okay with a laser. I feel like the laser you may only use in certain situations, but you know what, I just thought it was cool. I've got a bunch of different ARs. None of them has a laser on it. It's really nice and machined and low profile and has a finger groove, and so I was like, you know what, let's just get one. So I've got a lightweight build here. It's got the pencil barrel and stuff like that, and we'll just go ahead and just throw that on the front. Let's see, how far forward can we mount it? How far forward should you mount it? Let's see, will it fit all the way out there? Yeah. All right, let's do it out there. Shouldn't hit the gas block. Or does it in that case? That one might actually, yeah, let's see. Yeah, that one's hitting the gas block right there. So what if we just backed it up? Teeny weeny bit. Can we span from there to there? I feel like it should just fit. I do like M-lock, but sometimes getting a little shit to line up. Looks like it just, there we go, just fits. So now, kind of lock it in. Yeah. So we'll have to, you know what I'll do? I'm going to pause it, come back, so you don't have to sit there watching me dicking around with this. All right, we're back. So what I did was I put it there so that neither of these, they appeared to just be making contact with the gas block. And so I was having trouble they were hitting that and they weren't wanting to spin and lock in. So I just moved it back a tiny bit. Now, normally, I guess that's fine because with a, with a flashlight, you want to have it mounted fairly far up so that this area here isn't casting a shadow ahead of you. You kind of want it past that point. But with the laser, it's just a straight beam. It doesn't diffuse. So there it is, just mounted up. And then go ahead and click it on, and you got your green laser. It's not pulsing. It's just as I move it over the white dot, it changes how much light it reflects. But pretty cool. It's nice. It's nice to charge. I like that you don't have. I wish a lot of things came like that, where it had a rechargeable battery, and you just connected up a charger to it, so you could charge your stuff once in a while without having to take it apart. I mean, this isn't so bad because it's it's out here. You've got the battery under there, and you just carry extras in the grip handle and stuff, and that's why you get your backup sights anyway. But so I guess on this one, I guess some people might make fun of me, and maybe I would have as well, as it being slightly tactical, having all the different sighting systems on it. But I don't know. I feel like at least one rifle should have a laser sight, right? Why not? So I actually need to get to the range to sight both of those in now. So now I got an excuse to go to the range and do them both at once. The only thing I will say is when you're sighting in a laser here, the laser's on the bottom. Because of the distance from the bore axis up to the center line of the scope, you have your the bullet kind of travels. It doesn't travel in an arc, but in order for what you see here to line up with what's coming out here, basically the barrel cants up slightly. And that's why when you look at your ballistics charts, you see the bullet going in an arc. It's not really traveling in an arc. It's just that you make it travel in an arc. This isn't parallel to the ground. It's going to be canted up just slightly so that at some point, what you see here will intersect with where the bullet is. And that's where you do a 25-yard zero. Now I see a 36-yard zero is popular. I do the 50-yard zero. And that'll give you a fairly flat trajectory where you'll be within a couple points of impact within your point of aim. From up close out to 225 yards, which with an unmagnified optic is about all you want. Well, here it's in the other direction, right? Now it's down on the bottom. And so, you're really going to use a laser up close. And so that's where you're not even like in the house, or you're clearing a building, or you're doing something like that where you're within 20 yards. And so that's where you'll sight that in. You'll go and you'll sight that in for 10, 15. I'll go look up what they recommend. But if it's further away, you're going to use your optic or your backup sights. If it's up close where you're not even wanting to have to look down, you want both eyes open, you want to be looking around, you're not going to be trying to line anything up. If you wanted to shoot from the hip, something like that. If were injured and you were kind of holding the gun awkwardly with one arm against your side, well, you could still roughly aim with the laser. So there is a practical use for a laser in that situation. When you're up close and for whatever reason something's compromised and you either can't hold it properly to look down the barrel, to look through the optics, you can put the sight on it. And that's where some people like have it on a pistol. You could have the gun down at your hip. You don't have to have it up in a normal pose, in aligning your sights and stuff. You could hold your gun out to the side, around a corner. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how often you would do that, but it opens up the options. I guess that's what that stuff's kind of for. So I'm going to go ahead and sight those in. You know what? I'm off all week. And this is on my F. Joe Biden. Got my roll marks. It's the Let's Go Brandon from Palmetto. So now that this is built, I'm going to go to the range this week and sight this in. Both of those. So we'll report back on how it works. But that's cool. Didn't add really much weight. I mean, it weighs a couple ounces, but it's less than the flashlight was that I had on there. I had a Surefire on there. And between this and the mount, it added a bunch of weight out front. That's a little smaller, but this is still a nice light to medium weight build. And it's kind of right where I want it. When I hold the gun, I tend to hold it like that. And that finger groove goes right in there, and you just click it on with in this case, that finger, and it stays on until you turn it off. Very nice little toy. So we'll report back on how that shoots. Anyway, there you go. my last bit of gun content before YouTube cancels me.